Shalom. First of all, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Bahashem, Racha Kodash, Yahweh being the true, almighty, and powerful name of the Heavenly Father, who the world ignorantly calls God. His only begotten Son's name is Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Bahashem, meaning in the name, Racha, meaning spirit, Kodash is holy. That, of course, all is in the Lashon Kodash, which is the holy tongue, all right? The pure in language of the Israelites, which consists of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right? And yes, I have said it. Those are the true Israelites, all right? And the true Jews are the Negro, all right? That's just one tribe. But anyway, of course, I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone, and peace and salutation to all sincere Achim that are out there, of course, risking their lives of freedom to bring out this Amath, this truth. All right, the brother Mafba here, Great Millstone Playing Tables Camp, with a short wee lesson, just going onto the different conflicts that's going on in the Middle East and such, which currently we have this being May the 14th. Salakia for my raspy voice, but it being May the 14th, the United States has opened the embassy to Jerusalem, all right, which it was before that, I believe the capital was Tel Aviv, all right, and that, of course, has started, of course, the uproar, the big protests, the fighting, okay, between these fake Jews, all right, which are Israeli, all right, they aren't Israelites, okay. They're Israeli, all right, and they say they're Jewish, meaning they are like the Jews, but not, all right, and they're clearly not, because when you go into the history, they are the Edomites, all right, they're Khazars, all right, they, you go back to, the Khazarian Empire and such, where they, of course, chose Judaism over Christianity and over taking Islam up and such, all right, when you go into the history, but they are Edomites, okay, they go back to Esau, Edom, all right, these fake Jews and such, all right, they go all the way back to Esau, which is wasted away is he in the Hebrew, which is Ishah or Ashashua, all right, and you have Edom, which he's Edom as well, which is Adawam, which is means red, Slakia. All right, so anyway, you have Edom in the land of Israel, which that's in the scriptures and prophecy. All right, when you go to Zechariah, the 9th chapter, in the 6th verse, it reads, "A bastard shall dwell in Ashdod." All right, a bastard. All right, you're dealing with, of course, these fake Jews, all right, because they're not the children, of course, of Abraham, of Jacob, all right, they're not the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, all right, they are nothing but imposters, all right, so that's why it says here in the scriptures, a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod. Ashdod is in Yashala in Israel, all right, so that bastard, which when you go into it, that's an illegitimate you go into it, somebody illegitimate child, pure, not pure, Slakia. You go, I think they're here. You got Mamza right here, right? Go into it, a mixed population, all right. Which of course over there, you have in Israel, you have clearly, all these different nations that's there, all right. In Israel, all right, you have the Palestinians, which they claim it's their land, and you have these Israeli, they claim, of course, that Israel is their land, which that came, of course, when you go into the history, back in was that May the 14th, all right, which we're gonna go to it. Let's see, you had I gotta click the actual link, Salakia, one moment. Yeah, May the 14th in 1948. all right, Declaration of Independence, all right, formerly the Declaration of Independence, establishment of the State of Israel, all right, which you have, these so-called Jews, all right, they're Jewish people, all right, they, of course, put themselves in the land of Israel, all right, claiming to be the Lord's people, which they're not, all right. They're not the Israelites. The Israelites are the Lord's chosen people, all right, and that consists of 12 tribes. I ask, of course, where are the rest of the 12 tribes? They be, some of them say, hey, I'm claim they Jew, which Jew is Judah, all right. But where's the rest of the tribes at? All right. I'm gonna go into it real quick. Just another background. Just to get a brief on the Balfour Declaration. All right, which that was drafted back in I believe that's November the 17th. Right, it says Balfour Declaration was a public statement issued by the British government during World War I, announced support of the establishment of a national home for Jewish people in Palestine. All right. And then of course, you have where in 1948 on the 14th, you have them, establish it. These fake Jews established themselves into the land of Israel, which it's not their land either. It's the lands of the Negroes, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and the Americans, which are the Israelites. All right. You have to, of course, do your research into these documents and such. Balfour Declaration, definitely look into it. Because this is just a short, quick lesson. All right. So I got and afterwards you just have war to just break out and such, and you have nothing but wars. So to prove that they're not the Jews, I have just a couple scriptures and such. All right. This is Proverbs 29 and 2, and it says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. So if these so-called Jews, all right, Jewish people were the righteous, the people, all of people will rejoice, all right? Because when I go to, of course, Micah, the 4th chapter, all right, and this lesson, of course, is due to the power of Yahweh Shem Shai. Something with me to bring all this together. Alrighty, precepts and such. All right. Let me see. I'm gonna go to I could just start at the top. This is Micah 4:1. It says, but in the last days it shall come that in that mountain of the house of Yahweh, that's the true name of the Lord, shall be established in the top of the mountains. All right, which is you're dealing with, of course, all of the governments, all right, and people, all right, and it shall be exalted above the hills. All right, because you're gonna have the elect set up, and they're gonna be of all of the nation of Yashala. All right, starting with Yahweh Shai, Malak Dawadah. All right, King David. All right, and going on down. All right, it says above the hills. That's lesser, of course, nations and such, and dealing with people. It says, and the people shall flow unto it, and many nations shall come and say, come and let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh, into the house of Yaquab, or Jacob, and he will teach of us of his ways, Salakia, and we will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of Yahweh from Jerusalem. All right, which the laws and the statutes and commandments should be going out there, but of course, in Israel, you have these fake Israelite, these so-called Jews, they're Israelis, all right. They're just Edomites. They claiming, of course, our heritage, and they don't establish the law, statutes, commandments. They have, of course, in Tel Aviv, you got big gay parades and such like that. You have nothing but mass confusion, all right, with them and such, and they're wicked, all right. They believe in the Talmud, all right, which go back to different ancient Babylonian philosophies and ways and such, which is wicked, that's contrary from the law, statutes, commandments. All right, I'm gonna go to the next verse, Micah 4:3 says, "And he shall judge among my people and rebuke strong nation afar off, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares," which plowshares a instrument for agriculture. All right, and their spears into, and a sword is a weapon, of course, to bring damage. All right, a war, right, sword. And it says, "And their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war slacket anymore." All right. So if Yahweh Shem Shai was dealing with these fake Jews, and if they were the true biblical Israelites, there wouldn't be, of course, no war. All right, over there in the Holy Land. All right, in Israel. All right, Palestine. Okay. And plus, the Lord didn't even bring them over there. All right, they put themselves over there via planes and such. All right, this is Ezekiel 36, and I'm going to go here at verse 24. Ezekiel 36:24. "For I will take you from among the heathen and gather you out of all countries and bring you into your own land." All right, so the Lord, he said he will bring us into, of course, our land, all right, being Israel, all right, which they're not the Jews, and the Lord never brought them into the land, all right. Yahweh Shem Shai, which Yahweh Shai is the deliverer, all right, who the word and he calls Jesus Christ. He never came in the second coming yet, all right, to, of course, bring the true Israelites into Israel. That's why we know that they are not the true Israelites, all right, because it just doesn't fit prophecy. All right. Plus, we discontinue from our heritage, all these different curses. They're a sign, of course, of who the actual Israelites are. All right. So we know they're not the true Israelites. All right. And Ishmael, these Arabs and such, they know that too. All right. So I hit basically the precepts in which, I wanted to hit. And I'm just going to bring out this right here. And, hopefully you're edified, All right, so Slacky, let me just start it from the top. Show you just some of the different war and the hypocrisy that's going on. The United States, which the United States is basically it is Babylon, great Babylon in the scriptures, and this whole beast setup. All right, they of course embrace these fake Jews. All right, being in the land, and that's why, of course, they would do what they do. But it's only going to be to their demise. It's a snare. Anyway, here it is.
Officials in Gaza say that Israeli forces have shot dead at least 41 protesters and injured 1,800 others in the deadliest day of clashes since the 2014 Gaza war. The violence came as the United States opened its controversial new embassy in Jerusalem, a move which has infuriated Palestinians. Israel's Prime Minister Netanyahu said it was a glorious day, and he thanked President Trump for making history. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas said the move meant the US had cancelled its role in the peace process and insulted the world and the Palestinian people. Richard Galpin has this report.
A drone flying above the Gaza border drops tear gas canisters on thousands of Palestinian protesters below. This, the latest in a series of demonstrations recently, has been particularly angry. Palestinians here outraged by the opening of the United States Embassy in Jerusalem. This protester says Gaza and the West Bank will rise up. Everyone, he says, including children and women. No one will stay at home. And there have been hundreds of casualties as Israeli forces have opened fire using live ammunition. Palestinian health officials say more than 40 people have been killed. The Israelis say they opened fire to stop any Palestinians crossing the border from Gaza into Israel.
Oh, say, can you see?
Just an hour and a half's drive away in Jerusalem, a scene of stark contrast. This, the official opening of the United States Embassy in the city, attended by President Trump's daughter Ivanka and her husband Jared Kushner. For everyone here, a moment to celebrate and savor on this, the 70th anniversary of the creation of the State of Israel.
What a glorious day. Remember this moment.
Which I'm just gonna leave it at that. I mean, you get the point. All right. They established it. That was man-made. That wasn't true. All right. It's only gonna lead, of course, to more death. All right. Destruction and upwards of people. All right. This is biblical prophecy. Of course, that of course must play out. All right. We're in the last days. We clearly know that they're not the true biblical Israelites here. All right. Though they come out of Shem, they're not the actual, the chosen. Okay. Chosen is Jacob. All right. 12 tribes, Israel. All right. And those consist of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right. And, just read Deuteronomy 28 chapter. And if you read, of course, the Bible, and hearken to the true teachers of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, which they don't go by the name of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. I believe they just say Hashem, and such. But, there's no importance on them. They're Edomites, all right? So, hopefully you're edified. With that, I'm just going to close out and say Shalom. Of course, stay, occupied within prophecy, all right? As things, of course, is going to, go more further to, the last, basically, these, it's like, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but gonna keep on, the days being shortened, so, times are just going to continue to get worse and such. That's more so what I wanted to say. All right. Just from, as you can see, how things are going, in this whole setup that we're in. All right. So with that, Shalom.